Hello and welcome. As future leaders in the hospitality industry, you're going to face a lot of challenges, but there's one that stands above almost all the others: managing cash flow. It's the absolute lifeblood of any hotel. So today, we're going to dive into something really exciting: how a powerful new tool, artificial intelligence, is completely changing the game. We're talking about moving away from that old high-stakes guessing game of forecasting and turning it into a real strategic advantage.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to tackle this in 5 key parts. First up, we'll dig into the classic cash flow dilemma, the one every hotel has to deal with. Then, we'll introduce how AI is offering a totally new way forward. After that, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of how it actually works, what kind of strategic decisions it unlocks for you, and finally, what all this means for the future of liquidity in our industry. Sound good? Let's jump in.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of the matter, the core problem. It doesn't matter if you're managing a cozy boutique inn or a massive global resort. Your job as a financial leader often feels, well, like a high-stakes guessing game. You're constantly trying to predict something that feels almost unpredictable: your cash flow. And it's so true, isn't it? Cash is the lifeblood. This isn't just about showing a profit at the end of the year. No, it's about having the actual cash in the bank right now, today, to pay your amazing staff, to order fresh supplies for the kitchen, and, to literally keep the lights on. If you can't get a handle on your cash position, even the most luxurious 5-star hotel can find itself in really, really serious trouble, fast.
And let's be honest, in the hotel industry, the pressures are pretty unique. We've got these massive fixed costs. The building isn't going anywhere. We've got these wild seasonal swings in demand. But the real kicker, it's the timing mismatch. Think about it. A guest checks out, you get that credit card payment pretty much right away. But that huge corporate account for a conference, they might take 30, 60, even 90 days to pay up. And that gap between the money you've earned and the money you actually have, that's where all the stress and uncertainty lives.
And that's exactly why the old ways of doing things just don't cut it anymore. Manually pulling a bunch of reports, plugging numbers into a spreadsheet, and basically just crossing your fingers and hoping invoices get paid on time. It's like trying to walk a tightrope blindfolded. And for you, as future leaders who are being trained to the high standards of the Europe Hotel School, you simply can't afford to build your career on guesswork. It's just too risky.
So if the old way is just a guessing game, then what's the answer? Well, this is where things get really interesting. We're stepping into a completely new era of financial strategy, one that's powered by artificial intelligence.
Just look at this comparison here. It perfectly sums up the two worlds. Over on the left, that's the old way, right? Buried under piles of paperwork, totally stressed out, and just guessing. But then you look to the right. That's the new way. An AI platform plugs directly into your hotel's existing systems, crunches all the data, and spits out a clear, intelligent forecast. It's the fundamental difference between reacting to problems and strategically getting ahead of them. And what's the actual tangible result of all this? A 13-week rolling forecast. Just take a second and imagine that. Imagine knowing your hotel's cash position with a high degree of confidence, not just for tomorrow or next week, but for the next 3 months. And this isn't some static report you print out and forget about. No, it's a living, breathing prediction that's constantly updating. It gives you this incredible strategic window into your financial future.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how on earth does the technology actually do this? It sounds a bit like magic, right? Well, it's not. Let's peel back the layers a bit and see exactly how AI makes the leap from just looking at invoice due dates to predicting actual payment dates. This right here is the absolute key to understanding it all. An AI-powered forecaster, well, it honestly doesn't care what the due date on an invoice says. What it cares about is what your clients actually do. It digs through years and years of your payment history, and it learns the real-world behavior of every single corporate account, every vendor you work with. And the process itself is surprisingly straightforward. First, the AI connects to all your key systems. Think your accounting software, your property management system, all that good stuff. Second, it starts studying the history. It's looking for patterns. For example, it might notice that travel agency X is a great partner, but they always pay 10 days late. The AI spots that pattern. And third, it builds that learned behavior right into the forecast. So instead of hoping they pay on time, it predicts they'll pay 10 days late, which gives you a much more realistic picture of the future.
And it's not just looking at the money coming in either. That's only half the story. The system also analyzes your accounts payable. It's predicting when you'll have to pay out for all your expenses, food, utilities, labor, you name it. By putting together both sides of the coin, the inflows and the outflows, it creates this incredible dynamic map of your future cash. And what's really cool is it can highlight potential dry spells, weeks or even months before they happen.
Now, this is where it gets really, really powerful. Because all this data, all this predictive power, it's not just for making pretty reports. It's about fundamentally changing how you operate the business. It's about finally moving from being reactive to proactive and unlocking decisions that are truly strategic. So I want you to really think about this for a second. Put yourself in that chair. As a future financial controller, a future general manager, what could you do? What would you do differently if you had a reliable 13-week window into your hotel's cash flow? The possibilities are, well, they're completely transformative.
Okay, let's play out a scenario. Let's say the forecast shows a big cash surplus coming up. Fantastic! With this knowledge, you are suddenly so empowered. You could make the strategic call to pay down some high-interest debt early and save money. Or maybe you could finally greenlight that lobby renovation project you've been dreaming about, because now you know for sure the capital is going to be there when you need it.
All right, now let's flip it. What about the opposite scenario? The forecast predicts a cash shortfall in, say, 6 weeks. Now, in the old days, this would be a panic-inducing crisis, right? But with weeks of advance warning, it's not a crisis anymore. It's just a manageable challenge. You have time to get on the phone and proactively negotiate some extended payment terms with a key vendor. Or you can arrange a short-term line of credit at a much better rate because you're not desperate. The point is, you are in control. And you know what? The benefits don't even stop with forecasting. The very same AI can make your whole collections process way smarter. Instead of having your team waste time chasing down every single late invoice, the system can prioritize for them. It can identify which clients are just historically a bit slow, but always reliable, and which ones might be a genuine payment risk. This lets your team focus their precious energy where it's going to have the biggest impact, which improves both your efficiency and your cash recovery.
All right, let's wrap this up by taking a step back and looking at the big picture. What we're talking about here is really the future of liquidity management in hospitality. We're moving so far beyond just simple checkbook balancing.
And this, at the end of the day, is the fundamental shift. The goal is to evolve from being reactive checkbook managers, people who just report on what's already happened, and become proactive financial strategists, people who are actually shaping the future success of the entire business.
Because that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? It's about building a truly resilient operation. One that has the financial strength to not just survive the low season, but to actually thrive through it, to be able to keep investing, keep growing, and keep delivering those exceptional guest experiences no matter what challenges the season throws at you.
So I'm going to leave you with one final question to think about. Today, we've seen how AI can totally transform financial forecasting, but that's just one application. As you move forward in your amazing careers, I really encourage you to constantly be asking yourselves, how else is this technology going to redefine my role? And more importantly, how can I leverage it to become an even better, more effective leader in this incredible industry? Thank you so much for your time.